to Ratatouille, or had they kind of written themselves into a corner with the name, like they already had it? You know what I mean?
Are you saying like you don't
Because it
think?
was already called Ratatouille. So
Oh. Well, what if they just made it like Ratatouille? You know, like what if they just really put the emphasis on the two?
kind of like a play Pokemon Showdown moment. Play Pokemon
Oh,
Showdown, like that.
that's yeah, but that one's a little weird
You haven't
because
noticed that before?
no, because I'm always like hyper fixating on the exclamation play Pokemon
Yeah,
Showdown. And when they write it like
right.
officially, they always make sure to include like play exclamation
That's
Pokemon
right. Whenever
Showdown.
Nintendo tweets about Pokemon Showdown,
Yeah.
it's
Um.
done that way. That's true.
Anyway, welcome to. I don't know. Do we do episodes? We do it by date. Welcome to the October 21st, 2024 episode of the State of the Forum. Um, Potentially moving forward to be known as the Sanctity of the Forum, TBA.
Do
Um,
you want to go a little way into explaining why it's known as the Sanctity of the Forum now, or
it's twofold, right? Potentially
right.
threefold, right? I think there is a level
Yeah.
of sanctity we come to expect with Smogon as an entity, right? Um,
Okay.
Pokemon on the internet, right? Let's make it happen.
Right.
That's Smogon, right? And I feel like
Okay.
over the years we've been straying from that message. Um, these days you have,
In what ways? How do you feel that we've strayed?
well, just like as I'm looking at this homepage right now, there's a forum for information and resources. There's an announcements
Right.
forum. This isn't Pokemon. We're not making it happen. We're doing Smogon happenings. We're making Smogon happen, but that's not making Pokemon on the internet happen. That's
Do
different.
you not think? I mean, just to play devil's
Devil's
advocate, do you
advocate,
not think that
like you always do.
the information and resources are assisting
Look,
with the
I'm not
Pokemon
sure
on the
that name and profile request, infraction appeals, and Discord ban appeals and admin reports are going to be.
You don't think they're going to make Pokemon on the internet happen?
No, no, I don't. And honestly, the way I see it is like if you're banned, you broke the rules, and you should stay banned. And any
Right.
kind
So
of
there's no need for an appeals forum whatsoever, is what
yeah,
you're saying.
exactly. Like I think there's a
Yeah, I
there's a
got you.
very high chance that if you're banned, you did something wrong, and there should be no way that you can potentially evade said ban or maybe appeal your infraction.
Because presumably because the crime would be so
So severe.
terrible
Yeah.
that there'd be no reason to. So one of the things I feel like we have to address this at the kind of
Hmm.
lowest common denominator. I feel like the things that people are getting banned for
Hmm.
are to do with the posts. Okay.
Yep.
Some might say that's kind of the backbone of the forum.
That's
Possibly a
and I
spin-off series there, kind of like a documentary.
yeah, I
Um,
like that. It has a good ring to it. Yeah. Go ahead.
and maybe we just don't need posts. Maybe we don't need the forum.
Interesting.
Maybe we need to go back to kind of like a GTS esque user agnostic kind of environment where there's no
Mm.
posting. Probably the only communication you should be able to do should be kind of some letters that come out of your Pocket Monster ball and spell out,
Like
kind
in
of like
like in the Gen 4 games.
exactly,
Okay. I like that.
exactly.
And what's the max amount of characters you can have come out at? What's it, like 6? 5?
Six seems. I don't know if it is six, but six seems safe.
That's a safe. Yeah, it's a safe bet. Yeah. We'll stick with
Just off the
6.
top of my head, I feel
I
like
don't want
six
to.
is a
Yeah,
safe
I don't want to
number.
commit to 7. That might be too.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
So that's how
that's where your head's
that's
at.
where I
Yeah.
think we're going. That's how we kind of got here.
And I think you
Um,
have a point there because by removing the post, there's less to
yeah,
moderate, right? And
yeah,
less and the less there is to moderate, the more time we can focus on Pokemon making that happen on the internet.
yeah,
We can devote all of our resources to making Showdown and Smogon the best place it can be. Um,
yeah.
so, because initially I was going to say I actually think the post on Smogon are what makes it great, but I see where you're coming from now, and
But you'd be wrong. Yeah,
I think this is why civil discourse and debate It's just is so important. And I think in this divided country, obviously you're American, you
Yeah,
understand, or you're seeing how divisive we are, just on a daily basis for many
yeah,
reasons, and sometimes you don't even know
yeah,
why. It's
absolutely.
just like we're just arguing.
Sure,
This morning we were arguing. I made you
that's right.
toast, and you said
Well,
you wanted a bagel, and I was like, look, I
I
didn't
just
know.
didn't have much time, and I had to leave.
Right, and you could have taken
Uh,
the toast with you. Okay, like I ended up
I
throwing
I
it
feel
out
like
because
you
I didn't
see.
know that it was left on the
Well, that's a
table, and then
waste.
it
That's a
was
waste.
yeah. Well,
I didn't tell you to
I
waste the
didn't want
toast.
room temperature toast. Okay,
Okay. Well, you should have eaten it
and
faster.
what am I gonna do? Put it in the microwave and fucking heat it up?
Can I say something to you? No,
Go ahead.
that's deranged. But honestly, the microwave. I said this before. I know you didn't want to. You thought I was just like picking something to have a fight over. The microwave is bad. Like fresh toast is lukewarm in that thing. I'm serious. I'm sorry, but I'm
Fresh toast is
serious.
lukewarm. What do you mean? You're saying
In that sorry, that toaster is poor. It's a poor quality
you're
toaster.
saying we need a new toaster.
Absolutely. Okay, check. When
I
we were
just
first
bought
married,
you.
did we ever fight like this?
No, but I got you
No,
one for
everything was
Christmas,
fine.
and
And remember,
you said
okay,
it was the one you wanted.
yeah, well, it was Christmas. I didn't want to pick a fight, so I guess we had to save our fights for State of the
I
Forum instead of
saved the
the.
fucking receipt for 90 days. Okay, in the event this came up.
That is not something to brag. That is your hoarding again.
It was in my cabinet. You know the one where I keep all my
Yeah,
receipts.
I know the one. I never go in it. I don't want to upset the
Okay.
like
Maybe we should
sanctity of the cabinet.
should we get back on topic? Maybe like we'll have this conversation
No,
later.
whatever. We'll cut this shit. Yeah, fucking deranged.
All right. Pokemon on the internet. Someone made it happen. We
Yeah,
don't know who. But
sure, sure. It's
we're
kind of one of life's great mysteries.
looking at part of what happened right here. The Smogon
Mm,
forums.
mm.
And typically what I would do is I would go into Smogoff. I would mark all the forums as read. We'd click in and we'd start seeing just the posts that are made. But I think there's one thread in particular that we need to address.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's in Congregation of the Masses. So let's just head over there.
Oh, state of an entirely different forum.
Well, it's more the state of the thread, right? You're gonna see
Okay,
the
it's sort of like a
Lop
spin-off. Okay,
Yeah, we can potentially we'll trademark this stuff so that no one listening can do what they want. But you'll notice this thread is locked, right? Uh, Very active thread, 134 pages.
yeah, probably we were running out of bandwidth or something.
Yeah. So if we go to the latest
That's probably why
page,
that got locked.
immediately what do we see? A scroller,
Well, right away a post, so that's the
a
first problem.
post, and a scroller, if nothing else, talking about how responding to this amazing user Don Fan Fan, talking about how the thread will be closed not because of stress, but because the users in this thread are incapable of behaving themselves.
Well, now, what do you mean by not because of stress? What's give me some let's say let's say like a normal human
Well,
being, I've never clicked the politics thread in
I'm
Congregation of
just
the
citing them
Masses.
verbatim. So it seems historically some of the moderators of this forum have expressed a level of stress when it comes to moderating this forum. Now,
Okay,
I think it's important to understand that this is a volunteer position. If you are
right,
feeling stressed as a volunteer,
yeah,
I think you should remove yourself from that position. You know,
okay,
I think it's an
okay,
unhealthy place to be. And
yeah,
so, as this great user pointed out, they thought that it's odd that these people can just remove themselves, and they're choosing not to. They're choosing to continue working in a stressful environment, which is not helpful to anyone.
okay. But so the solution there presumably would be to end the. We got to look out for our moderators. Let's
We
end
definitely
that stressful environment, right? Like, let's get rid of it. So we should lock the thread, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's there's a lot of passionate users. There's SAC Martin, passionate about this thread, wants it to, saying it's usually infuriating, poorly thought out, and at best, censorship.
The thread or closing the thread?
The closure of the thread. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Closure of the thread
You
kind
have
of
someone
adjacent
else
to
pointing
the
out
forum.
that
Okay.
politics is too broad of a subject, right? And so maybe we break it down to
we need more politics threads. Is that what they're saying?
Yes, basically, we need a presidential thread. We need a geopolitical thread.
Well, some might say that after the presidential election is done, politics is over.
Yes, many of the admins are actually saying that. If we go to page
you won't need to vote again. Okay. God, I feel like I'm on an episode of like Smogon related Sesame Street, and you're teaching me all about.
After careful consideration between moderators and senior staff, we came to an agreement on the future of this thread. We'll be keeping this thread open until elections in the U.S. are finished, and then after that, it will be closed permanently. If we see any behavior that is deemed to be trolling,
permanently. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Where's the rationale for permanent?
Well, I think it's saying that after the U.S. elections, politics. I mean, what is there to discuss?
Okay.
This again, I speak to you from as an American to an American. This is the most important election in our lifetimes.
Well, it's the last one, so it is important.
It's the last. It's the most important, not just because it's the last, but because by making the right choice, we put an end to politics as a whole. And so I think what the moderators are doing here is they're looking, they're assuming we're going to make the right choice, and there's not going to be any need to discuss politics, since politics just won't exist.
Well, I actually am struggling to come up with a problem.
I'd like to highlight a post by this user, Don Fan Fan.
Okay.
He says,
right, go ahead.
Since joining this month, this thread has been closed twice, right? Which he finds unusual, right? And I can't speak for other forums, but I'd say that's pretty unusual, right? For a thread to be closed and reopened and closed and reopened.
Sure.
And then also kind of says that, while political discussion can be pretty intense, it seems odd to keep it open just for the U.S. election when there's elections that are happening all around the world all the time. And, even if your candidate of choice is elected, politics is going to continue to exist.
So for you, this response would be more appropriate if the mantra of Smogon.com was Pokemon in America, let's make it happen. Then this might be a fair...
I think that's what the moderators are fighting for, is that this user seems to be fighting for the idea that politics everywhere is going to continue after this election. So if we're simply keeping this open for the U.S. election, might as well just close it now, which is what happened. I'd say he's somewhat of a Nostradamus,
what a prescient guy.
Yeah,
well, he does have a little bit of a hunchback, it looks like.
Yeah. I'll admit, I thought Don Fan was an anteater. I didn't realize it was an elephant for the longest time, but I have taken a liking to elephants lately after this user started posting.
Okay.
And then just other things he's saying, 133 pages, right? Nothing. That's a lot. That's probably the most active thread on this forum. Sorry.
Okay. That's just a strange. It's just a strange thing. I just think it's wholesome.
I just started hyper focusing on the avatar, because the avatar here,
Yeah. I just thought it was a nice detail that you shared. How, if anything, against the, I feel like I'm in a pretty neutral stance on this one, but I'm learning about the politics thread with you. I think you taking that kind of positive influence from this other poster and being inspired and getting into a new topic and finding a new interest in nature and stuff, I think that's the exact kind of thing that people that want this thread to be permanently closed and demolished and ground up into dust and dashed to the 12
I agree
winds,
completely. And let me
they
also
don't see
say,
that.
the
Yeah,
last
go ahead.
person that used nature to create something magical
Yeah.
was Satoshi Tajiri with bugs. That's his name, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I sometimes I mix them up. There's a few of them that, and I'm not saying that this poster is going to go on to do great things. I think he will. Or she. We don't know. Well, do we? He. Gustavo. He's going to do great things. But we might be seeing the next creator of something just incredible that brings us together on this forum in
Yeah.
other forums to come. And I think that's amazing. And I think to step on that and to stop it from happening while it's developing is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
awful and
Yeah.
counterproductive.
Don't tread on me.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And I
You
can
know,
see
if
him
you're
where
going to try and make your forum America centric, then also remember,
you're
don't tread
goddamn
on
right.
me.
You're goddamn right.
Let's have Sean do like a little kind of Ekans or Arbok inspired "Don't Tread on
I
Me."
like
You know,
that.
like with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
snake.
yeah.
The kind of
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
because
sure that she
because
can
they're
whip that up.
snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Ekans backward is snake. You know that, right?
After we're done here, I'll have to write that down
Double
and figure
check
that
that.
out.
Yeah, you can double check that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
We'll
sure.
have that. We'll check that. Okay.
A couple more posts get posted. We don't.
Now, who's
Oh,
this Weeping Bell fella? Okay.
Weeping Bell, Mr.
Because it
Hands.
seems like they're putting a lot of effort into this thread. Like
They
maybe
are.
they have some good stuff to
They are.
say.
But let me tell you something about this user. They're putting a lot of effort, or it seems on that way. But then if we go a page later, they make an interesting post. Not this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Not that one. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. This is a Pokemon forum politics thread. People are taking it too seriously, which is why it's such a cesspool. This forum is better off without it. Now, I don't think that's a good argument. And who better than Donphan to argue that that's a terrible argument and it's in bad faith? Because you
Yeah.
would not
Now,
say.
who gave that a little haha react? I feel like that's
Yeah, let's go ahead and
a
take a
dog
look.
whistle.
Mr. Hands and look, it's something about grass type Pokemon.
Grass types.
They don't like it.
Yeah, they're a disease. They're weeds. We have to get rid of them.
We do have to get rid of them. We have to burn them all down. We have to flamethrower them.
Yeah. That's why I
the
kind of like
sun.
Donphan because he has the fire anteater type Pokemon as his avatar, Heatmor.
That's right. He has Heatmor on his side.
So you can trust him.
But it is,
Now, do you think Donphan should be moderating this thread? Is that what we're saying?
I think Donphan should be a moderator in general, not just of this thread, probably of this site. I think they have wit, they have the smarts, they have
cuddle it while sleeping.
Years of experience.
How do you feel about the final episode of State of the Forum being moderator of the thread? You know what I mean? It's kind of like
yeah. Well,
kind of
they can't be moderator of the thread because the thread's locked. That's why I just think we
elevate them directly. Sorry about that.
Directly to maybe like general moderator, like GM.
Right.
Something that puts them on the upper echelon.
Yeah.
No,
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
And they're online right now too, and that's important because we need someone that's active. One of the things that I've been tired of while reading this is that the mods, they keep going on these like frivolous vacations and stuff. Where is it? Hold on.
Right, okay. You don't think they should be able to take vacation?
No. As a quick FYI, I've been AFK since Friday. Okay.
Do you think the mods should be allowed breaks?
Well, they just both had one. They
so
just
that's
both
a no,
took 2 weeks off, and now they're celebrating their boyfriend's anniversary and theirs. I don't think that needs to be said. I think they could have just said anniversary because I think.
So this is kind of like a manifesto episode. It feels like. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say.
This isn't like a typical state of the
This
forum.
isn't a typical state of the forum because we're focusing mostly on the politics side. In fact,
This is kind of like state of the emergency.
I don't think there's any new thread since the last time we made a state of the forum.
It could be that the whole forum is locked.
And as it should, I mean, if there's anything to go by, you lock the thread when you're going away here. And then this
You
person
said
says,
something interesting. I mean, that suggests an environment in which you can only moderate a thread when you're online, and you pointed out that DonPhanFan is very active and actually online at this moment.
correct.
We don't usually do this, but considering this is already an unusual episode, how do you feel about kind of just dropping DonPhanFan a message? And seeing if we can get a response live, like maybe just like a visitor message even, or a DM, like that might be interesting to
Potentially like
see.
endorsing him for com moderator.
Well, we could let him know that, but I think also maybe it would just be interesting to get a response from him live about how
No,
he feels about
that's a
this.
great point. Let me just go ahead and find one of his posts here. I think it comes after this. I'm gonna go ahead and go to his profile.
Yeah,
Um,
and just drop a.
can you please provide your thoughts on what would you like to ask?
Kind of just get like the DonPhan angle on the moderator crisis of Congregation of the Masses, and follow up question. If it was determined that there was kind of a breach, a void, would he be prepared to fill it? Would Gustavo, the DonPhan, be prepared to kind of step up? What do you think?
I took it into my own hands. I asked, can you please provide your thoughts on the crisis going on in the Congregation of the Masses, and what is your biggest fear
Uh-huh.
and why?
Oh yeah, that's good to know. It's nice to get like kind of the issue at hand resolved, and also
Mhm.
just to give people a little bit of color so we get to know Gustavo. I feel like we're going to be seeing Gustavo a lot.
We're definitely going to be seeing Gustavo a lot. We're
So great to
gonna.
know
I
a
think
little bit
now is
more
a good
about
time
him.
for an ad break.
Okay.
I think we may pause the stream, let the ad play.
Yeah, I'll run through.
And folks, we are back. Thank you for that. In addition to the break,
That
we just
video is wild. That's crazy. Oh,
had
oh, right.
a bit
Okay.
of
Yeah.
a. I also needed a biology break, if you know what I mean. Let's check to see if we have a response from DonPhanFan. Oh, look at that. Thank you for the question. I'd say it's a disaster. What's going on over there? We need new leadership ASAP. As for my biggest fear, Typhlosion. Hmm.
Okay. Is DonPhan kind of weak to
It's not.
Typhlosion?
No. Donphan's actually super effective. It's a ground type, which is super effective against Typhlosion. I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, they're just a DonPhan. They're not an actual DonPhan. So maybe that's why they're a DonPhan, because they're afraid of
Oh,
Typhlosion. So it's like,
yes,
well, I
yes, yes,
that makes
yes.
sense.
I
That
think
makes
you're. Yes, 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 yes.
I get it.
And honestly,
Very pragmatic response.
they're
Yeah,
so right. We do need new leadership over there ASAP.
sure. And by the way, speaking of ASAP, what a prompt response.
Yeah, we asked 3 minutes ago and you responded a minute ago. Like, that's incredible. Yeah.
That's
And this
crazy.
is what you want in a leader, right? You want a prompt, direct response. No beating around the bush. We need
Right.
new
Okay.
leader.
So maybe not just moderator then. Maybe something greater.
That's why I think we need a new position, general moderator. I think they need to control basically the
Okay.
entire
Okay.
site.
How about moderator in chief?
Moderator MIC. Okay, I like that. I could see that.
Because then I feel like there's a suggestion that they're going to be responsible for all the other moderators and maybe whip them into shape.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this might be controversial. I think if DonPhanFan
Yeah.
does
Go ahead.
become moderator in chief, we're going to see a mass exodus of some of the staff. I think they're going to know that
Okay.
they won't stick around, that they won't be allowed to stick around. Once DonPhanFan realizes that they do nothing, that they
Yeah.
coast, and they're just friends of their friends who got them in this position, it's going to be
Right.
a disaster. When Don Fan
As
Fan gets
opposed to kind of a meritocracy
it,
where
exactly. It's
we're
we
kind of
want
seeing the
Don Fan Fan. I think I can speak for him a little bit when I say he wants the Smogan Forms to be the epitome of meritocracy.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Where and what are you basing that on?
Honestly, like, I hate to say it, vibes though. Like he just seems like a good guy. He seems like someone that wants to bring out the best in everybody. Um, unless you disagree with him, in which
Right.
case, like he might just kind of use stomping tantrum on you. You know what I mean? Pokemon joke.
Oh,
Yeah, little Pokemon joke for you. Say,
okay, but you don't think that's actually what his kind of his whole shtick is?
no,
That
no,
I
no,
feel like
no,
that
no,
shouldn't
no,
be. That's the kind of person you wouldn't want to be a
no, no, no. Yeah, you
moderator,
don't want
maybe.
someone that throws a tantrum. Um, he might
Yeah.
he might play around with the discouragement button a little bit, but it's an accident.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's a pretty thorough overview, I think, of the state of the thread.
Hold on, I have a little notification
Thank
here. Let's just
you
find out.
for that. Oh,
Kurhai Seisen reacted to my post in the thread, the politics. So let's go ahead and view that. Um, hmm,
right.
okay. Yeah.
So that looks like a post. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
hmm
Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's
I
head over
think
to
maybe there's like
Smogoth
a
and find out
caching
what's happening.
error. The
This,
unpolitics thread,
yeah,
apparently.
politics thread is. We have some new posts in here.
Now, who's the original poster of this thread? The OP, if you
Oh look,
will.
it's Don Fan Fan. Oh look, he's
Course
playing
close
Helldivers 2 here
to.
as well. Interesting. Um,
Oh, good game.
yeah. Oh, MF formerly Monkfish.
Right. Okay. Not seen him around much.
Well, let's find out. Oh, so we have an update.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, that looks quite long. Probably one to read on your own
Yeah,
time.
I'm sorry that I'm sorry that happened to him. Or happy that happened.
Yeah. We have a
Um,
city to burn.
I know you didn't read it,
Sure.
but you also gave a nice reply.
Yeah. I
Let's.
think that's not loaded properly. I think I just sent an enormous JPEG large of a thumbs up.
Yeah, I went ahead and also gave him like a little. Yeah. All right.
Okay, good. Well, that's been really helpful. Thank you for walking me through that.
Yeah. They say this guy, he loves using the discouragement button.
Like,
Just stuff
okay,
I've heard about.
what's
Just stuff I've heard. I don't look. I don't. It's just when
right?
you.
What's
It's when you
oh
accidentally slip and you add a name to a database and then you hit save and then it causes that person's account to be unable to log into the website. But it was an accident.
oh
Yeah.
okay? Well, they have 1,000,000 points, so they must be doing something right.
They got a lot of points. I think they got the points after they did that. So I think they were
As a
rewarded. I think it was
direct
like
result.
I think it was like a bounty program.
Okay, well, good for them.
Yeah,
I love to see
like
that.
a bug
Well done
bounty or
them.
something. Yeah.
As Isaiah, is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's weird. You would think it's Isaiah, but it's not.
No, I would think it's Isaiah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's why I said that.
interesting. They're the
Yeah,
leader. Umam. Umam leader. Your
I
Umam
think.
leader?
Imam leader.
Well, that's
I
here nor there. I'm
believe
just.
that's the I believe that's the community that they're a leader of.
What the hell
You're
is
new to this, so the under meta,
under meta?
and they're also the over meta leader.
Yeah, under and over. Maybe it's like a
Unofficial
gambling.
metagames and official metagames leader, but they didn't want to just say M leader because it's kind of,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't like it. I
Okay,
don't
well
like it.
you could leave that as some feedback maybe in the
Probably somewhere like there's probably a feedback place up
yes,
here, right?
but again, is that making Pokemon on the internet happen? I don't know that it is.
No suggestions.
Yeah, you could just
Just
suggest to them here that maybe they
wow. Is this Jing?
say interesting.
No. Hold on.
That's Lance.
Is it actually? is it actually Lance?
It
I
looks like
can't tell.
Lance to
I don't
me.
know. Yeah, I can't tell. It looks like a few characters. It's the most generic
Yeah.
anime guy of all time. It's just
Vegeta Kira.
yeah. I was gonna say there's definitely a little DBZ in there, but it's not DBZ. But yeah, it must be like it's definitely a manga that like no one's ever read. Um,
a bit like this profile, which is kind of sad.
yeah. Hello. Post and post. Um, anything else you wanted to discuss? Top of mind?
I just want to say treat people with kindness.
Your people kindness. Yeah.
Call your mother.
You should. Everyone, yeah.
if
Everyone that's
available.
listening to this, yeah. If your mother is available and alive, I understand. Some of us have deceased parents, and we don't want to make it. Maybe a motherly figure doesn't have to be your mother.
Yeah, someone with like a motherly build, maybe.
What does that mean?
Like childbearing hips. Like if you know a woman with childbearing hips,
okay, yeah, call it childbearing
just
hip
let her know,
woman and let her know that you appreciate her for existing.
and that should be fine. It should be fine to do
finally,
that.
the translation for Arceus gone flat.
That's ready for GP. Okay, well then looks like you and I. It needs 2 GPs, so it looks like you and I have some work to do.
We have to jump off. Yeah,
right,
folks. Thank you so much for tuning in for the. I think it's been probably about 2 years since our last did the forum.
Yeah, the biannual State of the Forum.
There was a Christmas episode, but it, maybe at some point we'll release it, on the Patreon or something. But yeah, I think we got to do some GP checks. So I can't say my name. If Todd, you want to just sign off?
Todd.
And you guys know me. So yeah. All right.